It's the Weekly Wrap with your host, broadcasting legend Bruce Wolf, and his trusty sidekick, comedian Tim Slagle. And now, without further ado, Bruce Wolf.
Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Now for my favorite part of the show, wherein I guess what's in Tim's background. Tim, I'm going to say easily, I mean, since it probably became, and I know you haven't seen it yet, and we're not going to spoil it for you too much, an iconic episode in the history of at least Paramount television, the pronoun scene in Landman this week. So I think that you've got a poster of our favorite Michelle Randolph, and she's got a poster behind her, a list of her preferred pronouns, which are innie and outie. Am I right about that?
No, I'm still I still haven't caught up on Landman. I have not started have not started season 2 yet. Yeah,
you're gonna be fine.
It's what the background is I think the reason why Trump wants to go into Iran.
Let's see. I can't because McDonald's, you got a McDonald's in the background, and they serve, it's an Iranian McDonald's, and they serve McRibs there.
Of course,
am I right?
Because there's no pork in them.
Nope. But there's a lot. There is no prohibition against eating couch. Am I right? That's well, what. Yeah, I get it.
Depends on what the couch is made of. I
guess. Yeah, because there is a class action suit regarding the McRib. Apparently, the claim that there are ribs. No, there's no rib in McRibs, and one of the elements of fraud is that not only that somebody was trying to pull one over on you, but that you actually had one pulled over on you. And anybody who ever thought there was actual meat in that stuff deserves it. That would be my defense.
I think there was a Simpsons episode where it was where they found out they could only make it they couldn't make it anymore because it was an endangered insect that was used for the meat. I mean, come on. It's do they still make it look like there's bones? Do they still press it out so there's fake bones on the McRib?
I think they did. Even I probably have one of the worst palates in captivity. I mean, I'll eat just about anything, especially grandchildren's leftovers. Oh, if there's just a little bite on the end of it, then no problem. But even I, at some point, realized I'm just eating something that's slathered with barbecue sauce, and I have no idea what it is.
God forbid it's tofu.
Yeah, right. Tofu is actually a step up from that. Okay, so we tape this, and so you never know what's going to happen. I'm thinking either Tehran is up in flames or Minneapolis is up in flames, and when people actually see this or hear this, I guess Trump backed down. He had been saber rattling a little bit, but then heard the news that apparently they stopped the execution. So I guess the first 10,000 are free for the Ayatollah, but then he decided not to do anything. What does it say? Middle East allies and blitz of diplomacy urge Trump to hold off on Iran strikes. Diplomat says. Who's the diplomat, that I'm reading about here in these headlines, Chris? But it's from the AP. Whatever. So any opinions on that? Which I hope are not moot?
It's you never know. You never know what he's thinking. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna stop. Yeah, no problem. And then boom. I mean, that's kind of what happened with the nuke sites, wasn't it? It's we're still exploring possibilities. We're hoping that diplomacy can work. And the next thing we attacked Iran. We took out their nuke sites.
At some point, enough is enough with the guy. And he does, at some point end the whole deal. And there was a successful resolution, as far as I'm concerned, of what happened with Hamas, and whereas the Democrats would have had Israel ceding territory from 1967. So that's he does do it. I'm just not a geopolitical strategist like you are, and I'm just wondering if we're a little bit spent in Venezuela right now. Probably dealing with, I'm guessing, I haven't heard the latest from Candace Owens, because she did say that Charlie Kirk was a time traveler. Did you hear that? Did you? I don't believe. I mean, somebody actually. I mean, Chris may have heard that.
Oh my gosh, she's hired Alex Jones writers.
I mean, but I was just thinking that maybe somebody from the future, is who we're going to be fighting, who's coming back to fight with us. I don't think I'm slandering her. You never know what you read on the internet, but I think she actually did say something to that effect, that she thought Charlie Kirk was a time traveler, which, and not in a metaphorical sense either, that he was a Cassandra who was warning us about so much. Well, let's see. Yeah, here's the headline here. People left seriously confused after Candace Owens seemingly claims Charlie Kirk was a time traveler. Okay, yeah. Maybe there's some innocent construction of that. Maybe she just seen Back to the Future.
Think she's going to come? He's going to come back if he's a time traveler. That this is the period he's going to come back to. I mean, I would think there would be better choices, maybe, I don't know, when the Dred Scott decision was coming out.
or how about a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, something lyrical like that.
Absolutely,
absolutely right about that.
I'm not sure that there's anything interesting that he can stop. And by the way, that's not a McDonald's restaurant behind me. It's a McMosh, is what it's called.
Ah, I see. I see.
They kind of can infringe on the trademark. There is no McDonald's in Iran since 1979.
Ah, I did not realize that. Yep. Thank you for keeping me abreast of all that. So, yeah, in the meantime, in Minneapolis, now it sounded like, talk about the wag the dog situation. Tim Walz trying to detract from everything going on with the Somalians. And now, basically, with a saber-rattling speech against ICE the other night, saying, take your photos of, camera photo, phone photos of the ICE personnel. And there's been, that there is an organized effort, obviously. I mean, this is funded by the Soros types to harass the ICE guys as much as possible, go to their hotels. At some point they're impeding arrests. There's even something called a de-arrest strategy that they have where they're actually doing that. It's illegal stuff. But I noticed last week you were basically thinking that the guy may have violated the policy by shooting her.
May have. On the second two shots are questionable.
You still think they're questionable?
I still stand by that, but I also think that it's, that I want to hear the guy. I think the guy's going to have to testify. I think, he's the Fifth Amendment.
Well, I don't even think there's going to be a case, but go ahead.
If there is, he's going to have to testify. I believe, because there's no other way that, that he can convince the jury that of what was going through his head.
Do you own firearms?
I can't.
Oh, okay.
I'm not good with playthings.
I understand.
I cannot be. I cannot trust myself to be responsible.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
To pack it in a case in my trunk and only take it out at the rifle range. No, there's going to be some night after a couple beers. I say, well, what's it going to hurt if I squeeze off a few rounds in the backyard?
Sure. Is it the 4th of July? I don't know. So, no, I was thinking, that it's policy of police forces everywhere. Once you start firing, you keep firing until the situation is, the threat has been eliminated, the actual threat. To me, it will come down to, and I recognize that about the second and third shots, that, once you got the first shot off, the second and third occur maybe like within a second, that fast.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you can stop on a dime. I don't know. That may be the issue.
Well, I mean, it went from, the first one was through the windshield. The next two were through the open window.
Yeah, the thing
So-
is that the car's moving at the time too. So it's
his
not
arm,
like he
his
had to
arm
move
has
around.
to, his arm has to move as well, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe not. Oh no, you're right. No, good
I mean,
point.
he just may get off the shots, and she's like she's moving.
She's
I mean,
moving, and he's
we
good
don't
point,
really
counselor.
know.
Good point, counselor.
Yeah. All right. So, you do realize you're on a conservative podcast, don't you? Okay. I mean, I have to remind you of that. No, I know it's good.
I'm just showing that I'm open-minded.
No, and then
basically, I'm of the
question.
position now is let's wait for the investigation at least. I mean,
Right,
he's
and
already
then-
been convicted in the court of Facebook.
Right. The most people think that he did something wrong here. There is also the question of where he was. Was he standing or was he actually moving at the time as well? I mean, he could have been over the left front headlight like as he was moving. I don't know that he was stationed at the left front headlight. I don't know.
I will say what happened. What
Yeah.
happened from her perspective. This is what I believe because unfortunately, I watched the videos more than I really cared to.
Sure.
I think what she was trying to do was just to inch towards him and nudge him out of the way.
You actually thought she was trying to hit him.
Yeah, she wanted to get out and she kind of wanted to.
But she wanted to hit him at the same. She wanted to have her.
But she wanted to bump him. She wanted to.
Wanted to
he
bump
was
him, just a
impeding.
tiny little bump.
And I think what happened is she was
nobody
on
has.
ice.
By the way, nobody has else. That is the most. Why are we only in the top 3 podcast?
So anyway, I think she just kind of wanted to brush him away and then move on. And I think what happened was she hit a patch of ice.
Yeah, and then skidded into him.
And then geez, the car isn't moving, so I'll push that accelerator a little further.
She just wanted to hit him like the Mayor Fry said, like a refrigerator door. Getting into you. Right,
yeah, but I think what happened was the tires slipped and then grabbed.
Right.
That's what I believe.
And then he got the internal injuries, which a lot of people are saying, oh, how could he get internal injuries? But and which, by the way, do we necessarily believe that?
I don't know. Could be, could not be. Who knows?
We'll come up with more. I'll answer a few phone calls.
Medical
Bruce
records
Wolf
are protected.
and Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Got to mention there was an argument before the Supreme Court in front of Ketanji Jackson. Whoa, Nelly.
Who should have recused herself on this case?
I'm sorry?
Should have recused herself on this case, I think.
What is she, a man, baby? What?
No, she doesn't know what a woman is, remember? In her confirmation.
Right, exactly.
And it's like, well, if you don't know, how can you decide fairly? How can
that was really the question that I believe Alito asked, not her, but I think she asked counsel for I don't know if it was the plaintiff or whoever in the case, but Justice Jackson presses Idaho lawyer on treating transgender women different than cis women. Well, first of all, at one point, I understand she said this, which is even better than Candace Owens claiming that Charlie Kirk was a time traveler. She referred to cisginger, not cisgender. I understand cisginger. Now, I'm thinking that's what Marianne on Gilligan's Island. After a while being on the island, she referred to Tina Louise as her sister, cisginger. But yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, so she said that. Another thing, she asked the opposing the attorney that I assume she's not going to like. Why do we have to tailor legislation? Why can't we just make exceptions? The government should make exceptions at certain points. And the attorney shot back at her. That's what we mean by tailoring legislation. You put in the exceptions. That's the definition of tailoring legislation. So she was a little confused about that. Okay. But it does seem like the Supreme Court will decide that men cannot play in women's sports. So
it does.
That's
did you see the confrontation between Senator Hawley and the doctor?
I did see on Twitter the question that he asked. It's like,
as I said, simple question: can men get pregnant? And she goes, well, let me tell you why I paused because
Okay.
on that, because I thought it was a leading question.
Ah,
Yeah, it is a leading question. Can you answer it? Well, let me again say why I paused and why I did not feel comfortable answering that question.
it's a pregnant pause, as it were. Oh my goodness.
It was
All right.
like every millennial when you try to get them to say something affirmative.
Exactly. So, speaking of Democrats tacking toward the center, Rahm Emanuel recently said, and he's running for president, obviously.
Sure.
He said recently that, when he was a kid, if he would have wanted to go in the girls' bathroom, and it's not that he had been stuffed in a locker by the other guys.
No,
but
I said that too. I was actually doing that as a bit for a while. Oh my gosh, that's when I read The Hobbit the first time. I dreamt of getting a ring of invisibility, and there was only one reason why I wanted that ring.
You want to go in the girls' bathroom? That's
yeah.
Right. Well, that's basically Porky's, right? The theme of the Porky's.
There it is again.
If I recall, it's Revenge of the Nerds. It's just about every movie, a teen movie.
Which, by the way, I just heard a statistic. I don't know if it's true, and I don't know where I heard it, but that 15% of inmates of women's prisons are transgender women.
Which means a transgender woman is somebody who a man who became a woman, right?
Yeah, it figures if I'm going to have sex with it in prison, I might want to do it the right way.
Now, it's interesting. You think these guys are doing this just to get themselves into the women's prison.
I'm telling you, Bruce, if I was ever convicted of anything,
yeah, I think the rules
it would be the preferable option.
You have to show, it's like you have to buy an insurance policy at least 2 years before you commit suicide. That used to be the law. You couldn't just buy one and commit suicide. You have to have a track record of being a woman before you get into a woman's prison.
I don't know.
At least 3 or 4 days. Do
you remember that? Was it Speck? Was that who it was that had those really disturbing videos of it?
Richard Speck, who actually grew breasts.
That's what I'm thinking.
I recall.
Yeah. And if he were doing that today, couldn't he say, well, I'm obviously a woman?
Yeah. I think we'd be much more tolerant of him than we were in the bad old 60s. So Rahm Emanuel also, he's going for that Democratic centrist vote right now. He appeared somewhere where he was talking about how we've got to, get rid of the scourge of TikTok and all this stuff that the kids are online with. And do we have that tweet from Rahm Emanuel? I think I sent that to you, Chris, but I'm not sure. But anyway, he said that.
I don't disagree with him.
Yeah, I don't either.
As far as it being a scourge, but not just young people. I think a lot of old people are.
He says, look, be honest. Have you ever heard a parent ask for more screen time for their kids? Is that what's missing? Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat have created an addiction for our kids. It's either an algorithm or an adult that raises our adolescents. Enough is enough. It's time to stand up for our kids' education and our parents' sanity and ban social media apps for kids 16 and younger. And, I think a lot of people could rally around Rahm for saying that. And, he has that, and he's speaking in the video that I'm looking at to a group of people. And he just reminded me a little bit of Professor Harold Hill in The Music Man, worried about the kids. And if I may do an instant parody on one line, I say we got problems right here in the Windy City. That starts with P, that rhymes with T, that stands for TikTok. Can you imagine if our kids, however, had been exposed to the Laquan McDonald video before the primary? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he looked like he's wearing Jimmy Carter's clothes in that video.
It works. Plain folks kind of stuff.
He's got
now what should the kids
you can tell because the sweater's too big on him. It's a little too large.
His mom probably thought he'd grow into it, and you know that he didn't.
There's always hope.
So we got this Camus, or it could be Camus, but I think it's Camus. tweet about Elon saying that within a couple of years, don't go into medical school, he says. Yeah, it's pointless. In 3 years, he says, Optimus robots will be better surgeons than any human on Earth at scale. By 4 to 5 years, not even close. The best medicine in the world will be free, better than what the president gets today. And so, I'm thinking at this point, there's surgeons may have to join the Chicago Teachers Union to protect their jobs, or maybe quit and drive Ubers. Oh, wait a minute, those are going to be driverless.
I think any union would give them the right to backwards technology.
Absolutely. I mean, Jim Penthakoukas then had a tweet, my friend, the economist, saying, "Don't expect an AI job apocalypse." Though, I mean, basically, it's a long tweet that says it's not going to be as bad as you think. But I got to think that if I'm a surgeon, I drop the scalpel and everything like that, and as you just kind of hinted before, try to join the longshoremen's union and be a dock worker, and you'll be protected. You'll have a job. You'll
still have dock in your name. So
what's up, dock worker?
Yeah, I think Luddites of every generation have claimed that the new technologies are gonna create massive unemployment. I mean, that's nothing new. It's but yet the economy marches on, and
eventually, I mean, eventually, I remember this battle like in the 70s, where Teddy Kennedy wanted to keep like these women who were working at spinning jennies 17 hours a day or something like that employed. And, my hero, WFB, William F. Buckley, said, okay, can we do this? Just have it so the people who have those jobs now, they get to keep them, but we don't keep bringing new people into that employment line. But that might be a reasonable solution. Hey, missing a big story. Have you heard this whole thing about the Havana syndrome? Do you know what that is?
No.
You want to?
I might, but I might. But is that the thing where the diplomats were complaining that they had headaches because they thought the sound was
they've been zapped.
Well, this is good. I've got a funny story on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that is my mom wanted to take the whole family on the cruise, and I said, she goes, "Where do you think we should go?" I said, "Well, I think we should go to Havana," and she said, "Why?" I go, "Well, it's open right now. I don't know how much longer it will be open to cruise ships, number one. And number two, do you know how many of your grandchildren voted for Bernie Sanders?" And she said, "Book that trip."
There you go. Exactly.
So we were in the Hotel Internacional, I think is where it was, and we were watching they still have a stage show, an old school showgirl Cuban stage show, only it's changed just a little. It talks about how communism saved the people is the theme.
Would they get rid of the donkeys?
Yeah.
Okay.
No donkeys. But anyway, it was really funny because all the performers were faced. They hate the show. They were drinking. You could tell they were staggering on stage. It was horrible. But anyway, somebody there was like a big commotion. They said, "What happened?" And they said, "Well, somebody on the main floor, someone in the audience threw up." And I go, "Oh, well, maybe they pointed the sound ray gun at them." And like 3 guys rushed up behind me and said, "Don't ever say that again."
Unbelievable. And with that tease, we'll talk about why we have been victims of the Russian, or what I like to call the Miami sound machine. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap.
Tim Slagle for Bruce Wolf on the Weekly Wrap. Now it's my favorite part of any show where I get to ask Bruce, "What the heck have you got in your background?"
Exactly. Well, I decided I would time travel with Charlie Kirk, and if you on the other side of the earth, we'll meet Candace, and we'll rendezvous, and it'll be Valhalla. Actually, we were zapped out of the Earth's atmosphere by what I like to call Marco's Miami sound machine. And you remember Miami is I MAME backwards. What's interesting, and the reason I call it Marco's is because there is evidence. It's better than any evidence Candace Owens has ever put up about anything, but there's evidence that we may have bought this zapper or whatever, this ray gun, this kind of military hardware, which you alluded to in the last segment when you were in trouble in Havana. We may have used it in Venezuela because there's a report that we only had about 20 guys there. They had several hundred, and they were all neutralized, and they couldn't do a darn thing. And by the a ray gun or something, and they've got all these headaches and everything. And apparently, this is stuff that had been used on not only our diplomats years ago by the Ruskies, but high level operators in the field, not your mid-level guys. They didn't waste it on them, but the high level guys to absolutely neutralize them. Anyway, it's the kind of stuff that a guy with a tinfoil hat would eat up. I would hope so.
What it reminds me of is I think it was Star Trek that it would often happen, where all of a sudden over the communicator a real shrill noise would happen, and all of them would grab their heads like this and start writhing on the floor. And I think it's actually common in a lot of it's a popular science fiction trope, but here it is.
Yeah, right, and it's just beautiful.
I don't think we bought it. I think we probably backwards engineered it.
That's what's the story, that we might have tried to do that, but we might have bought it too, which is it would be great. Tommy sold us their stuff. Anyway, we got much more
Peter Ducey. There's actually a video of Peter Ducey. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
It was like from a couple of years ago. They tried it out on him, and he volunteered to get hit by it.
Okay.
So we've had it for a while.
And what? Okay.
He said it was like he all of a sudden felt like he was 1,000 degrees. That his temperature went up to 1,000 degrees. It was like every inch of him was burning, and all he had to do was jump sideways to get out of it. But
interesting. Well, we might have used that in Venezuela. I don't know. And for some reason, Trump doesn't want to use it in Iran yet. He wants to poison them with McRibs, apparently. Do it that way. All right, we have to really move on to this, and I want to be careful about this because I know you haven't seen the second season of Landman, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. But this could be a landmark episode, not only of Landman, but in television, because Ainsley, Michelle Randolph, our favorite Innie Outie, Innie. I think last season or the first season, didn't she apply to TCU? Well, did you see that when she was?
Yeah, I saw that. I think that might have been the first episode of the second season where she applied for it.
You did
she appeared. Yeah, she appeared very stupid. But in this one, I actually watched the clip.
Yeah, this is my whole point. She looks like she's 30 IQ points higher. So there's a continuity problem. It's as bad as if she had an outie belly button all of a sudden, because we know what she's made of, and she's going toe to toe with this counselor at TCU, and she sounded like William F. Buckley talking about let me put your use a fruck. Don't talk dirty to me.
She goes, I can't get over that it's so used. It's a plural. And and so the counselor goes, who gives you that right? The English language.
Yeah. And there's something about a girl in short shorts with that Southern accent, that it's the equivalent, whenever we have seen Masterpiece Theater or something like that, Alistair Cook, there's so much gravitas to that. Oh yeah. Oh, sure there is. But she sounded so much smarter. And it's like, you could see Taylor Sheridan thinking, I don't care that she doesn't make any sense right now. I want to put these words in her mouth like Liza Doolittle. And she didn't reign in Spain on us. She sounded absolutely terrific. And
then backs down at the end. She goes, well, I'm just going to call my mother.
Yeah.
And she she say, why don't you act like the adult that's on your driver's license? And she gets up and she huffs out of the room, and you almost see her belly button.
It's great. Well,
for just a split second, I had to freeze the frame because at first it looked like they showed her belly button, but no. Well, we have not seen her belly button all season, and that cannot be accidental.
Exactly. And what's great is her roommate looks like just about every protester at ICE rallies.
Are you kidding? He's even from Minneapolis,
right? So, oh yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't Northwestern University, because Taylor's, he's got this wheel of targets, and he just spins it, and then it's like, oh, it's time to hit Minneapolis again. I mean, it was just, it's the moment, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's not one but two pool parties in this episode. Okay, and
no navel.
I mean, it's just our our old man's dream.
Well, here's the thing. I've got to stroke our show here, Bruce, because I keep going on the internet because there's got to be a lot of talk about Michelle Randolph's navel, because both Chris and I independently noticed that she was in both series, not by her face, not by the character she played. No, there was only one thing. And we didn't realize it until she got a rabies shot in 1923.
Oh, right.
That's it. We both noticed it at the same time. So it's not all over the internet. Could it be that Michelle Randolph's people did an internet search and found our lowly podcast? That the reason why it's been covered up all season is because of the weekly wrap with Bruce Wolf?
I wouldn't, and Tim Sligo, I wouldn't put this past them. We have influence that we can't dream.
We've disappointed millions of men, old creepy men around America,
including ourselves. We thought it was just our little girlfriend's secret. Right? All right. Well, stay tuned to next. I think next week's the last episode of the season. Chris, I think
that is correct. Can I offer 2 points?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Is it possible that Taylor Sheridan was trying to make a point that the argument on gender is so obvious that even an idiot like her can point it out? And second, the person they got to play her roommate, who I'm surprised agreed, is a real trans activist, transitioned like 5 years ago, was on that transitioning show with Jeffrey Tambor and everything. And she kind of got eaten up, which I'm surprised she took the job, unless she just, is searching for jobs.
A gig is a gig.
Right.
It's not a call. All right. You're going to be the tackling dummy here. But because she was I
thought she was Napoleon Dynamite at first.
Well, did we need the ferret in the scene? I mean, it had everything else. Okay.
Well, yeah, but the ferret really introduced a really nice part of it, because she goes, "Can we get some air freshener in here?" Oh, excuse me. I'm not going to inhale artificially created scents into my lungs.
Oh man, it was just an old white right-wing guy's dream. Thank you, Taylor Sheridan.
And I think rather than a gig's a gig, I think they believed that when they read the script that they came out ahead. That's what I think. I think they do not realize that they're being mocked.
Should always, when you're writing a contract, make sure that the laugh machine doesn't go. Because I think, like Seinfeld, they'll add laughs they didn't have to, because we were just, the show had been dragging a little bit for me, but at that moment, it really picked up. Anyway, go watch it, Tim. I think the last episode is next week, or this coming weekend. We must move to other television, the Legacy Network. Ricky Gervais was interviewed on 60 Minutes, and he expressed guilt over the fact that he makes millions and millions of dollars for his comedy specials, which I saw the last one. And
well, he kind of wasn't really guilt. He just said he's a little ashamed. Did he say? He said he's not ashamed of being rich. He just is not proud of it.
Well, what he said was, he mentioned, "I'm not proud of being rich. It's nothing to be proud of. I was lucky. Why am I paid 1 million times a nurse's wages wages. And my answer to that is because nurses don't tell great fellatio jokes like you do. I mean, that's why.
I was married to a nurse. I still am married to a nurse, Bruce. And after the show, I might not be, but I dispute that they cannot tell good fellatio
there
jokes.
you go. All right. We've got the other side of the story here. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Okay. We haven't talked about Oprah in a long time. And so this is from that Vigilant Fox. Oprah has now come out and said that she's not blaming herself for being fat all these years. There's an obesity gene that made her eat. All right. It's not only makes you fat, but it makes you eat. Now, might I suggest that she read the book that she touted years ago called The Search and just visualize thinness. You know, that could do it. Here's the thing about Oprah. I think we all are owed reparations from her because everybody followed all her diet suggestions over the years. And it turns out she was wrong about everything, girlfriend. And now she's telling us that it's not our fault. I'm going to sue. I'm going to get the Jerky Boys to sue her, and I'm not going to settle for a Pontiac either.
How much Optifast did you buy there, Bruce?
I lost.
I think you could recover that.
If I had my vision board still, I don't have it anymore. It's in the garage somewhere because I try to visualize thinness. So she had so many suggestions, and now it's something else. Now it's not.
Well, that Optifast. I had a comedian buddy, and he went on the Optifast after Oprah started pitching it, and he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah,
and I overheard two comics talking about it. And they said, "Boy, did you? How much did Al lose?" And the other one goes, "About 20 minutes."
Okay. Oh my God. Yeah.
Because he was one of those comics, of course, that I am so fat.
Yeah, right. There you go. You don't have a routine anymore.
Hey, you go home now. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, Chris. Just to show you, I'm following the rundown. You had at the end of the last block, and we bled over into this, something about Sydney Sweeney, and I was going to skip over because did I send you that, or I'm just curious.
I sent it because it combines two favorite show topics: Bruce's Jews news and Chris's ability to show pictures of Sydney Sweeney.
I know and she's there with two of the survivors from Hamas, right? Yeah. No, that is great. Yeah, and now the only problem is she's so demurely dressed in this photo, which, I understand if you're going to be with some survivors.
Do you think it's going to stop Chris? Do you think Chris doesn't have another couple in the magazine that he's going to fire off here?
Well, it's not with the two survivors, I don't think. So, but right. No, we can always, there's never a surfeit of these screening photos. We need them. I am reluctant to move ahead to the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers because I just don't think you have any interest in that.
I actually do. It's okay. Yeah. It was kind of an important game. I figured, what the hell? There we go.
Yeah. If we could just have Sydney Sweeney looking over us while we talk.
Sydney and her Sweeneys.
Yeah. Right. So did you see the game? Did you enjoy?
So I said, well, it's about dinner time. And the wife says, "What should we put on, to watch during dinner?" I go, "Well, the Bears are playing." And she goes, "Really? Really?" I go, "Well, it's kind of a big game. They're going to move forward into the playoffs." And so we put it on. And after the first half, she goes, "Have you seen enough?" And so I like everybody in Chicago turned it off.
No, nobody in Chicago turned it off.
I disagree. I've talked to several people.
Oh no!
And they said after that, but when it went to halftime, they said, I can't watch anymore.
I mean that's.
But they came back.
Well, first of all, they had done it like 6 or 7 times already this year, and the Packers are horrible, and they came back, and God knows why this happened. Now, people are overreacting to this because that's what you do. 670 the score, which, by the way, is going to have an FM outlet. Did you know? Finally,
I did not.
Yeah, 103.4, going to have that, and oops, excuse me. Anyway, Lawrence, whom I know, Lawrence Holmes, called this epic. I would say it's epic adjacent. Scottie Pippen once said, "It don't mean a thing without the ring," and so they won a playoff game, and it was great. I mean, it was terrific. Although the fourth quarter nowadays in the NFL, it's kind of like Final Jeopardy. Everything's weighted. It's worth more. It is. It's like the roller derby. I don't know if you watched roller derby when you were a kid. Tony Roman coming out on the jam for the San Francisco Bay Area Bombers, and all of a sudden you have your typical, and I hate to throw out a sportscasting cliche, but your typical Deus ex machina finish. But anyway, so yeah, it was. I mean, it was absolutely terrific. A lot of fun. The big comeback by the Bears. But
boy, that I did tune in for the final minute, and that was a nail biter, boy.
Oh yeah,
it's that was like, well, this is usually where you go, well, what else did you expect? A touchdown in the final second. Yeah,
there was one play. It was 4th and 8. With virtually no time left, and they had to convert, and he did. He floated in a pass to Roma Dunze with about 3 defenders around him. I mean, it was like a smart bomb. It was just beautiful, and they kept it going. But I'm telling you, Chicago Bears fans, actually, the Bears are like Lucy Van Pelt, not Charlie Brown. The Bears do this to the fans all the time. Swipe away the football from Charlie Brown, and because eventually it's going to be really bad. But
yeah, and the best part is that there were a lot of Green Bay fans that had to make a long drive home.
Yeah. Actually, I screwed up my comparison there. What I meant to say was the Bears are like Lucy with football, and the rest of the league are Charlie Browns, Bengals, Packers, Raiders, Packers, and Steelers. And did I mention the Packers? Because that's what the Bears did to all these teams this year. And how you hung up on that, and didn't watch any more. I don't know. Because you just don't really care. You're from Michigan and Indiana, and Indiana, which may still be the home of the Bears. We don't know. I think they got a little leverage over last weekend, but
yeah, they've been pulling that. It was at Pierogi Fest a couple of years ago. Was the first time I saw a guy with a booth saying "Bring the Bears to Northwest Indiana."
Yeah,
which I don't even know if they'd have to be the East Chicago Bears then, wouldn't they?
I think they'd have the right to whatever, yeah. But so. We were talking about pronouns before. I'm not very good at critiquing sports announcers. I'm just very picky. All right. And Mike Tirico, and you're familiar with him? He's a terrific football announcer and everything else. And he just knows everything. And he just comes up, with the right fact in the right situation. And he's wonderful. But, and I read a program with him recently. I'm sorry, you like him, Chris? Do you like Tirico?
Hate him.
Okay, good.
Yeah, right. Sexual assaulter.
Yeah, all right. Aside from that, but here's the thing.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln.
The other day, he said, between he and them. Okay, between he. I mean, I'm getting Ainsley. You talk about pronouns. Know your pronoun antecedents. Know your objects of prepositions, or apparently, as Chris says. Is indicated an object of a proposition. I didn't. We're trying to sweep that under the rug around Tirico. Has that been documented?
Yes.
Okay.
He was suspended from ESPN for it.
Okay. And what makes him a bad announcer, though? In your
talks opinion? Too much. I don't think he adds as much as you think, and I think the crop of good announcers just keeps dwindling, and it's have some personality. I mean, I'm at the case where I actually like Joe Buck now compared to everybody else. Al Michaels is tolerable, and he used to be annoying.
Okay. Now, did you hear the story? And I don't know where it was floated like a week or so ago, but I don't know what happened with it. That Jason Benetti was going to be the voice of Major League Baseball on NBC. Did you hear about that?
I did, and they lie in the article to say he's a fan favorite in Detroit, and there was massive backlash against him in Detroit. And I read stories that he was told to curb the jokes and stuff by management because people were annoyed by it. See?
All
My
right.
opinion.
So, what do you think? While we're on this, and I hate to let Chris hijack the show here, Tim, but
Chris is hate to
kind of enjoying it.
tunnel here.
Do you have any opinion about the fight between the guy who's on the radio station that is so not listened to that they don't even subscribe to the ratings book? That's Mark Silverman on ESPN. Versus the guy who announces the games that nobody listens to, the Bulls, Chuck Swirsky. They had a fight. Did you even hear about that?
No, I don't listen to sports radio at all.
There you go. Then enough said about that. I think that's the final word on that. All right, go Bears, go Bears, go Ainsley. Let's see that navel. Okay.
Of course, we're going to do a bonus rant.
Okay, a bonus rant. The bonus rant is about the guy who thought this was the greatest day in Chicago sports. Because the Bulls, because the Bears won the upset game, the Cubs signed Alex Bregman, and the Hawks won a game with an old goaltender, and I think that I finished the Sunday New York Times crossword puzzle because it was ridiculous. I mean,
and Angel Reese got new lashes.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, people were talking that way. What a day for Chicago sports. No, it was the Bears. And the Bears dwarf everything else, including the Bregman side, which is a big deal, But if
this were New York or Boston, it might be a 30 for 30.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They'll give you that. They'll. Yeah. No, it was absolutely ridiculous. People are way over the top on this, and there's a part of me that wants the Bears to get their heinies kicked so that they'll have nothing to talk about on sports radio. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap.
And that's the Weekly Wrap on radio and television. Follow Bruce at Bruce Wolf Shy on Twitter and Tim at timslagle.com. The Weekly Wrap with Bruce Wolf, a CP Pods production.